When people know your value and you don't know your value, they will use and abuse you. This guy spent 20 years earning salary. He never built a career in that industry. He was not a career person. So many of you that think that you are career people, you are not. You are just salary earners. And that is why you are finding yourself in the same rat race. And I've said it over and over again. In the rat race of life, even if you win the race, you are still a rat. The reason why many people are poor is because they are salary earners. You can never become rich and wealthy through salaries alone. How to create wealth as a career person. One of the major narratives that is out there is the fact that in order for you to become wealthy, you need to be an entrepreneur. You need to have your own business. And that if you are a salary earner and you are a career person, it will be difficult and almost impossible for you to create wealth. And because of that, we have a lot of people that should be career people, a lot of people that should build a career and operate as professionals and entrepreneurs that have stepped out and called themselves entrepreneurs. So we have a lot of people in the world of entrepreneurship today that should close the business, shut down the website, shut down everything they are doing and go back to work. Because they have complimentary card, they have logos, they have name, they have title, but there is nothing to write home about the supposed business. When you are doing a business and from January to December, your turnover is 200,000, go and get a job. Because if you are working, even if it's 150 they pay you, it's more than the entire 200 you call yourself a businessman and a businesswoman. And one of the reasons why this narrative has gone on for so long is because the balance that is required for people to be able to become career professionals and create wealth has not been put in place. And by the grace of God, in the next 3 parts, we're going to be trying to help put balance to this dimension so that you can understand how that even as a career person, you can create wealth. Let's look at the dangers of being dependent on salary alone and try to understand why people have pushed for freedom from shackles of salary forever. Genesis chapter 30, beginning from verse 25. Genesis chapter 30, beginning from verse 25. Because of time, I would have loved to read different translations, but let me stay with the message. Stay with the message translation, and let's see Genesis 30, 25 to 34. After Rachel had had Joseph, Jacob spoke to Laban, "Let me go back home. Give me my wives and children for whom I have served you. You know how hard I have worked for you." Laban said, "If you please, I have learned through divine inquiry that God has blessed me because of you." He went on, "So name your wages. I will pay you." Jacob replied, "You know well what my work has meant to you and how your livestock has flourished under my care. The little you had when I arrived has increased greatly. Everything I did resulted in blessing for you. Isn't it about time that I do something for my own family?" "So what should I pay you?" Jacob said. "You don't have to pay me a thing. But how about this? I will go back to pasture and care for your flocks. Go through your entire flocks today and take out every speckled or spotted sheep, every dark-colored lamb, every spotted or speckled goat. They will be my wages. That way, you can check on my honesty when you assess my wages. If you find any goat that's not speckled or spotted, or a sheep that's not black, you will know that I stole it." "Fair enough," said Laban. "It's a deal." Let's move on to verse chapter 31 because of time. If I explain that now, let me put them together. Genesis 31 from verse 36 to 42, still on the Message translation. Now it was Jacob's turn to get angry. He leaped into Laban. So what is my crime? What wrong have I done you that you badger me like this? You have ransacked the place. Have you turned up a single thing that is yours? Let's see it. Display the evidence. Our two families can be the jury and decide between us. Now listen to where I want us to really see. In the 20 years I work for you, ewes and she-goats never miscarried. I never feasted on the rams from your flock. I never brought you a torn carcass killed by wild animals, but I paid for it out of my own pocket. Actually, you made me pay whether it was my fault or not. I was out in all kinds of weather, from torrid heat to freezing cold, putting in many a sleepless night. For 20 years I have done this. I slaved away 14 years for your 2 daughters, another 6 years for your flock, and you changed my wages 10 times. If the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had not stuck with me, you would have sent me off penniless. But God saw the fix I was in, and how hard I had worked, and last night rendered his verdict. So, a close study of the Bible revealed to you that God wants every of his children to actually have their own. God wants every of his children to have their own. So when you study the Bible, you will realize that covenant people are not salary earners. I'm taking us somewhere. Covenant people are not salary earners. All the different people in the Bible that God showed us as people that were representing him in the covenant dimension, they were men and women that had their own. And those that did not have their own were men and women that operated in the dimension that I want to show you in this series. So you find out that in Genesis chapter 2 verse 15, the word of God declares that when God created man, he now went to the eastern part of Eden and put a garden there. He now took the man and put the man in the garden, and he said, this garden, I want you to tend it and I want you to keep it. The word tend means to cultivate. The word keep means to retain in ownership. So when God creates people and brings them into this world, he wants them to have their own portion. He wants them to have what belongs to them that they can tend, that they can cultivate, that they can retain in ownership. When God was to introduce himself to us, he said, I'm the God of Abraham, businessman, the God of Isaac, businessman, the God of Jacob, businessman. When you study the Bible, you find out that out of the patriarchs that God said he is their God, the only one of them that had to go through the struggles of salary before becoming an entrepreneur was Jacob. You remember how that Jacob came from a family where the father was a businessman. The grandfather was a businessman. We know the story of Abraham. We know the story of Isaac. We know the different things that they did. But Jacob, because of the uniqueness of his experience, the Esau and Jacob's story and all those stuff, he had to leave in order to escape the wrath of his brother as a result of the things that he did. And that took him away from that entrepreneurial lineage, and then he landed under Laban. And like he told us here, he spent the first 14 years laboring for the wife. First 7 years to get a wife. When the day came for him to get the wife they promised him, they gave him another one. And then he realized that he's having a wrong wife. When he woke up the next day, He said, why did you do this to me? I don't know how you are. Let me know, because this message, yeah, I have to finish in part 3, or else it will become part 7. Now, you labored for 7 years for a woman, and you are in the same compound with her, and you did not know her. Hello? So, let me ask you a question. There are some things that are difficult to believe, but when we get to heaven, we will not have questions because you have the answer. Are you telling me for real that this guy spent 7 years laboring for a woman, and then the night came, they gave you another one, and you slept with another woman overnight, and you didn't know it was the one that, the guy was a 419 forever. 419. He was just a 419. The guy is he thought that he can eat his cake and have it. He did not know that Koniman died. Koniman buried. Laban was a Laban. Laban. Hello? So he woke up the next day. He said, you gave me the wrong one. He said, well, in our culture, the younger one cannot marry before the elder one. Why didn't you tell him your culture? Before, hello? Why didn't you tell me when I was getting a job here that in this company, I cannot marry my colleague? Now that I'm now engaged to somebody, you are now saying you will sack the two of us. That according to company policy, colleagues cannot date themselves. When I came to the company, did you show me in the staff handbook, or during my orientation, did you tell me you can't fall in love here? No, I'm relating it to the 21st century so that you understand how that many of you go to get a job without employment letter. And you assume that this job comes with leave allowance, it comes with bonus, it comes with pay, it comes with pension. And then you now suddenly realize that you are just a casual staff. Hello? And many of the people that you hear, this bank sacks 3,000 people. This institution sacks 2,000 people. When you go there, it's not true. You know why it's not true? Because there are things that happen that many of you don't know. The bank did not sack 3,000 people because you were never a staff of the bank. The bank ended an agreement with the agency and said, give me 3,000 staff. The agency recruited you and took you to the bank. The bank will pay the agency. The agency will pay you. So you don't have any contract with the bank. Even though you are forming riot, I'm a banker. You are just a fool. You don't understand. Hello? You are a banker. Have you read your dictionary? Are you the owner of the bank? No, because many times, I use those language to wake up your brain. Say, yeah, you are a fool. I repeat it. Now listen. Because working in a bakery, do you call yourself a baker? Working in the hospital, do you call yourself? So that you are working in a bank does not make you a banker. Who is a banker? A banker is someone that owns a bank, not someone that works in a bank. Hello? So the day the bank wants to cut expenses, they will just invite the man they had agreement with and say, sir, we can no more, we don't need your services anymore. So they will disconnect with one man. But that disconnection with one man, 3,000 people will now get an email, recall back to your office. That's why all the news you hear in newspaper, hey, they sacked 3,000 people. Nothing will happen because they didn't sack 3,000 people. It's because you went without. So after 7 years, in our case, they say, no. You can't marry younger one, when older one is there. So take this one. I say, what's not going to happen? He said, since you love this one, they were now preying on his emotion, knowing fully well that you have no other option because you don't understand some of the things I'm about to share with you in this series. He now told him, if you want this one, you need to do another 7 years. But look at the negotiation they did for his destiny. To show you that I'm a good man, I will give her to you now. So you will now be working. So you will collect her now, but you'll be working 7 years. But I will give it to you now so that you can start enjoying from now. But that's another 7 years of your life. And that's how many of us have sold our destiny. Hello? I was being interviewed by a media house, and they were asking me a question about refinery and all those stuff. He said, hey, you put that into finance, that they said Dangote is importing crude oil. That how can it be importing crude oil? I thought they said they have arrangements with Nigeria. I said, my people, don't say what you don't know. Do investigation. I said, what you did not know is that the last administration of Buhari, APC, and this one is TAPC, that last administration, all the oil inside the ground, they don't use and borrow money in advance. Hello? So there is no way they can give Dangote any crude oil because the person where they borrow money from, if they wait. So when the oil come out, he go collect the one where they hold am. Now what will remain, they go fit sell. And Dangote is a business. He cannot wait for you people to settle that one. He has to continue running his business. They say, how? I say, how? Then they say, sir, is it that you are a pastor? You should be careful of what you say. Because sometimes it is what you say that you have been saying it, that dollar will become 1,000 to a naira. And now it has happened. Don't you think you should start saying dollar will become 200 naira to a dollar? Because it's what you people are saying that is happening. I said, look. Do you produce dollar in your country? No. The only way you can get dollar is to have something you are producing, that you are exporting, that is bringing dollar. So as long as you don't have anything that you are producing, that you are exporting that is bringing dollar, you cannot have enough dollar. And so if you think that the 1,000 is a problem, I am sorry to announce to you. So after 14 years, no, I'm going somewhere because I want to help you. We are going. Why do they talk entrepreneurship? These are the reasons, but we need to put balance to the thing. Now, the guy now spent 20 years. And inside that 20 years, he was giving birth to children. 2 wives, children. And the salary did not increase. Because he said, 10 times you have reduced my salary. So instead of annual increment, it's like deduction. He said that sometimes when I go out, and an animal dies by accident, he said, you will make me to pay. Hello? Are you seeing yourself in the company where you are working? Because many of you are working under Laban, and God is about to set you free. So, for many years, 20 years plus, this guy was under the bondage of salary. Hello? Now, please, what is the title of the message? How to create wealth as a career person. Listen, the reason why many people are poor is because they are salary earners. You can never become rich and wealthy through salaries alone. But I want to show you, you see, even though Jacob was there for 20 years, he was a salary earner. He was not building a career. He was a salary earner. He was not building a career. Now, after 20 years, the wife gives birth to a child, and the guy now asks himself, come, the way this thing they go. Now, me and my wife start now, we don't become 6. 2, husband and wife and 4 children. The way this thing is going, it's time for me to do what? To take care of my own family. So, he now decided that, look, I need to resign. So he now goes to Laban. Says, excuse me, sir. You know, since I came here, I've been serving you. I've done well. I've done this. I've done that. After all the story. Says, so, I want to resign. That was the first time he realized his value. Because see, when people know your value and you don't know your value, they will use and abuse you. Hello? Are you getting what I'm saying now? Because we're going to deal with a lot of things in this series that will help many of you to know how to create wealth as a career. I'm telling you, some things we'll see. You'll be shocked. Hey, I didn't see it this way. This guy spent 20 years earning salary. He never built a career in that industry. He was not a career person. So many of you that think that you are career people, you are not. You are just salary earners. And that is why you are finding yourself in the same rat race. And I've said it over and over again. In the rat race of life, even if you win the race, you are still a rat. Whether the handcuff is made of wood or gold or silver, handcuff is handcuff. You know what the man now said? You want to resign? You can't. He said, I have learned by divination. Did you see it when I read it? That means the man was using something. But Jacob was not using something. Listen to me. In this world, you are either in the secret court or you are in the secret place. Everybody is using something. Which one are you using? Be sure that what you are using is the right thing. The man has been using something. We had a meeting in July. Some people were in the meeting. And a lady was sharing with us how that somebody was owing her. But every time she enters the car to go to the person's office to ask for her money, she will leave the house and get to the middle of the road and say, where was I going? She will forget where she was going to. She will turn back and go back home. And when she gets to say, I was supposed to go to that apple for over a year. So in case you don't believe that people use something, well, you will not experience it. Because whatever they want to use against you cannot stand. Because God cannot use you and the devil will come to use you too. Yesterday, same thing happened. Some people that were in the meeting in July were in the meeting yesterday. No, not yesterday, on Friday. And another man stood up and said, I opened a branch. I sent my staff to another branch to go and open the branch. And he said, the guy went to the branch and I don't know what happened. I just realized that every time I think about the branch, I don't feel like going. He said, for months, I didn't even ask him, what is happening there? He said, I don't know what happened. He said, there were days we enter the car and we'll get to the road and we'll branch somewhere else. He said that one day somebody came and said, congratulations. So he said, what's going on? He said, your branch, I see that you people are already 2-story building. He said, which branch? Which time they don't already 2-story building? He said, that's when they now started praying. That the spell that the guy put upon him and his wife now came off. That's when they went there. And by the time they got there, the guy told them, oh, you were there now. The guy said he's the owner of the company. A branch, the guy said, I didn't get company. Hello? Oh, I don't, but let's just go, let's go. The guy says he's the owner of the company. They now took over, arrested him, put him in prison. The guy now got bail and sent hired assassin to come to kill the guy. So police now caught them in the estate. That you people are not, why are you roaming around? They now caught them with the guy's picture and his wife's picture in their hand that they want to come and kidnap. They now got the guy, so they arrested them. There is that other branch man that sent them. No, you never hear story finish. So now they are in prison. But now the police has now become the problem of the guy now. So the police are now saying that, we are the one that saved you from death. So you should be giving us 5 million per month. I'm going to pay 5 million naira so that to keep you alive. That because if we didn't stop there. So now his cry now is that should he relocate because even police, that when he's going home now, the police are there. The whole of his estate now, they say they are securing him 5 million per month. Hello? I'm going somewhere. He said, I have learned by what? Divination. He said, I go check. Oracle tell me, say, everything I have is because of you. That means that the day he entered, the man went to check his star. To say, this is my staff. Is it a good staff or a bad staff? And they say, Dimu, Somaleo, Diromo, hold him down. He cannot go anywhere. His glory is shine so that you can use his glory. Hello? Now, question. When the man went to do divination to discover that he must hold Jacob, did Jacob go to heaven to pray whether I should walk here? You get a job because they say the job is on the island. You now left where you are supposed to be. You are going to island and they are paying you 120. So that when they say where you work, I work on the island. I work in Leke. I work in VI. And there are businesses around the area that will pay you the same amount. But because of that arrogancy of bondage, I work on the island. You went. Hello? If Jacob had sought the face of God, the way Laban sought the face of his own oracle, God would have told him, don't stay here. Many of us are victims of disobedience to God and victims of not operating kingdom principles in the marketplace. Because we do things only by economic profit. As long as the money is good, you don't pray whether it's the will of God or not. So he now said to him what he has never said before. He said, now, name your wage. I can't let you go. Anything you want me to pay you, tell me. And the guy said, I have now learned that salary cannot help me. Now, I want to become an entrepreneur. Now, I want to build a career. So he shifted into entrepreneurship. Even though he was not the owner of the company, he was now building a career inside the company. And that shift in his mindset is very, very important for you to shift from survival of salary, to you to become someone that says, I want to build a career here. And in building a career, there is a season when I will have to serve and learn. So he said, you know what? I don't want salary anymore. From now, I want equity. Let my righteousness speak for me. Listen. Many of you that have not been able to create wealth is because you are looking for salary, not income. Hello? You are looking for what? Salary, not income. There is a difference between your career and your calling. Your work and your job. Your job is what you do to earn a living. Your work is what you are created to do. Your career is what you are paid for. Your calling is what you are made for. Jacob now said, from now, let my righteousness speak for me. I don't want salary anymore. I want commission. Hello? Now, I want what? Commission. One of the businesses I do is real estate. Many of you already know that. And then we started what we call agents, where people go and sell land for us and we give them commission. Now they call it realtor. In our own days, it was agents. We didn't know this American language of realtor. It's this new boys that brought in all this. So now agent, you be agent. Commission says agent. And you know what? The chartered accountant, that was my accounts, is the head of account, whatever they call them, in the office, his salary then was 280,000. And then people that were not staff will come and collect 800,000 commission, 1.4 million commission for land that they sold that they are collecting commission. And the guy was collecting 280. So one day, I said, the way all these boys are just coming to collect money, let me give the staff too opportunity. Let everybody begin to make money. Because their salary is not even up to what these people are collecting. So I came one day and I said, from now, everybody is a marketer. All of you go and market. Whatever you market, you get commission. After we finished the meeting, the guy came to my office. He said he wanted to see me. I said, yes. He said, sir, some of us are professionals. You cannot compel us to be going to do marketing. We are not cut out for marketing. So I looked at him and said, are you all right? So I want to help you. I'm saying go and do marketing. I didn't say I'm not paying your 280. But in addition to your 280, he said, no, it's going to be a distraction. I said, you are okay signing check for somebody that does not work to collect 1.2, 800, and you sit down for 1 month and collect 280. He said, no, I'm an accountant. That's why I know that school can keep people. I say, hey, he's still potty now. Because you can be a chartered accountant, that doesn't mean you can charter Uber. I didn't say charter plane, no. Hello, or boat, or whatever. People of God, Jacob said, I'm not going to allow this. I'm not taking this anymore. The question now is, which oracle have they checked that is controlling your life? And then have you consulted your own oracle? So, as an individual, even though salary alone cannot bring you to a place of wealth, but becoming a career person and an intrapreneur can help you to create wealth when you know the things that you are supposed to do. So in closing, there are 3 portals of wealth creation. If you are going to create wealth, there are 3 portals. Number 1 is the entrepreneurship portal. Creating wealth through entrepreneurship. Number 2 is the investment portal. Creating wealth through investment. Number 3 is the career portal. Creating wealth through entrepreneurship. So what is entrepreneurship? What is the difference between a salary earner and a career person that is building a career as a professional? How can that career person also create wealth without having to resign from their job? Because everybody cannot be an entrepreneur, but everybody must be an investor, and everybody must be able to create wealth. If everybody is a businessman, who will fly the plane of tomorrow? If everybody is a businessman, who will work for the business people? If everybody is a businessman, who will be the surgeon? If everybody is a businessman, who will take care of all the other aspects of life that requires professionals and requires career people? These questions are the questions that will be answered when we come on Wednesday.